What is in a human voice?
What makes it so attractive, persuasive, or repellent?
Why do we so vividly recall people's voices, to our pleasure or to our regret?
How is it possible for the entire personality, a person's essence, the very presence, be distilled into sound waves?
There's a whole lot of information contained in a human voice.
Computers, or more properly the programmers, are struggling madly to mimic the nuances and subtleties of the voice, to see if they, like daylight, can be convincingly replicated.
Certainly for mundane announcements, where the identity and emotion of the speaker is meant to be as neutral as possible, no one objects.
Or maybe they do, but who is there to listen?
In us in our travels, we hear more mechanically produced announcements and directives all the time. It's not very comforting.
But it's cheaper, and as an employer, you don't have to provide bottled water.
But I haven't heard anyone praising the soothing tones of the voice of their nerve system, whether the opposite.
Calibrating my ass. God.
Even Siri is useful, but would we gladly trade hours of her informative voice for a 10-second clip of our child's?
Who would want to live in a world where all spoken communication was digitally authored?
Doesn't that seem like a perfectly Jerry idea? Who would bother to listen after a while? Not that people are such rapt listeners, no.
Just a few of the things that you can tell from a voice or
The general attitude of the speaker.
Whether or not the speaker actually believes what they're saying is 100% true.
How they feel about you.
How they feel about the present moment.
Whether or not they want you to listen or not. Or how urgently.
the age or the youth of the speaker. Their level of affinity for you. Where in the world they have mainly been spending their time.
Whether or not they have, recently been consuming dairy products.
How educated they are, or, believe themselves to be.
Whether they have a cold,
or are just learning the language.
the level of sophistication, or the lack of it.
Their willingness, or their interest.
How kindly they are, or how uncaring.
Whether they are only pretending to say something, yes, while actually what they're trying to do mainly is trying to warn you without anyone noticing.
All these, and perhaps an infinity of other subtle flavors, make up the rich recipe of ingredients, all organically grown, that add up to a single human utterance. So, is there no place for robotic communication? Of course there is, don't be stupid.
But it matters that it have human consequences. Humanity should take care to select which of its many voices it chooses to speak to itself with, and never casually turn over the whole conversation to an automatic,
non-human entity.
You don't want an automatic digitized jury foreman to declare you guilty or not guilty, do you? Or a RoboCop to read you your Miranda rights? Ever been fired by a machine?
That being said, let's also have a care that our own human voices remain an expression of ourselves as living beings, not as pale imitations of other people or machines.
In other words, let's speak from the heart, and in our own voice, with whatever qualities it may have.
And if someone doesn't like our voice for some reason, well, that's fair enough.
I will just continue to say what we have to say, with all the richness our voices offer, and even let our silences speak.
Because the silence of a machine means less than nothing.